Ilia Topuria has defeated Charles Oliveira by knockout to win the UFC lightweight title, making him a two-division UFC champion. And I got to say, guys, with this win, in my opinion, this is the most impressive win streak in UFC history. I mean, seriously, he knocked out Volk, first one ever to knock out Max Holloway, and then moves up and knocks out Charles Oliveira. These aren't TKOs, guys. These are knockouts. I mean, this guy is a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and I think he is just so impressive. However, after Ilia knocked out Charles, the camera kind of panned to the crowd and showed several of the lightweight fighters in attendance. Justin Gaethje, Arman Tsarukyan, and Paddy Pimblett. All three of these guys are coincidentally kind of in the title picture at lightweight. And Joe Rogan kind of orchestrated a thing to get Paddy Pimblett inside of the cage, and I gotta say, I just hate this for a plethora of reasons that I'm about to get into. The first one being is I just hate this. I don't like fighters getting in the cage after another fighter wins. They hop past security, from the crowd to get into the cage. It just feels very WWE. It's just personally not my thing. If you guys like it, that's cool. Just not my cup of tea. And I really don't like when this happens because I feel like it kind of hijacks the fighter's moment who won. Ilia wins and then Paddy hops in the cage. It kind of makes it about him in a way. I just don't like that. Now, it seemed like Ilia was cool with it. He kind of welcomed it. I think Ilia really plays into that promotion. So I think, it's okay in this scenario, but I still don't like it. I think it's really outdated. And Dana White even agreed with me at the press conference.
Ilia, after the fight, he called in Paddy Pimblett and brought him into the cage, and they had to face off. Obviously, they've got a long history together. I know there's a lot of options on the table for Ilia, but when he shows that type of interest in a fight, does that make you want to make it?
Well, I don't know who the hell let him in there. That should have never happened. Let's start there. I was already back in my room, or that would have never happened. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't really think about that stuff tonight, other than, obviously the Van fight. But, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
The other reason I hate this is Paddy just simply has not earned a title shot. I mean, let's be real. What are his notable wins, right? Jordan Levitt, who is kind of frankly just a journeyman at best. The ghost of Tony Ferguson. What was Tony Ferguson on 6 losses at that point? We have a 38-year-old one-dimensional Bobby Green, not a great win. And then we have a washed Michael Chandler, who's 37 years old, coming off losses. And I got to be real, I think Chandler was pretty overrated his entire career. I don't think he was ever that high quality of a win. Personally, I'm really excited for Ilia's run at lightweight, and really the only fight, in my opinion, that makes sense is him versus Islam Makhachev. This is a once-in-a-lifetime fight. This might be the highest skill level fight in UFC history. Actually, I think it is. I think this is the best versus the literal best. This is a once-in-a-lifetime matchup, and it would be historic. However, I don't think this is going to happen, at least in the near future. Makhachev has moved up to welterweight, and so for, the current lightweight division, I just don't think that's really a possibility. Maybe if Ilia moves up too, but I kind of want to see him stay at lightweight. I think welterweight would be a little bit much for Topuria. So what do we do at lightweight? Well, if you go off the merits, it's Arman Tsarukyan. He has the best win streak. He has the best wins. He is merit-wise the number one contender. I understand that's a very unpopular opinion. Arman doesn't really have a big fan base, and a lot of people don't like him after he pulled out of UFC 311, kind of ruined that event. And then you look at Paddy. Paddy hasn't had that big win. A wash Chandler does not count as a big win. And honestly, Justin Gaethje has been too wishy-washy. He's been very win-lose over the last couple years. He doesn't really stand out as the number one contender either. Personally, I would like to see Arman versus Ilia. It's just the best versus the best right now, and that is what that belt represents. I'm a rankings merit kind of guy. I like to see that type of matchup. I understand that might be kind of an unpopular take, but I think it would be a really good fight. Of course, if Islam Makhachev wants to come back down, that fight has to be made. Ilia versus Islam is the number one priority fight, in my opinion, right now in the UFC that the fans want to see. Every MMA fan wants to see that fight. However, I don't think that fight's going to happen. I think if Ilia fights Arman, I think he chins him. I think 3rd or 4th round knockout. If he fights Paddy, Paddy's getting knocked out as well. His striking defense just is not up to par. And I honestly think Gaethje gets either knocked out or submitted. Justin Gaethje's grappling defense is just non-existent. But guys, that's going to be it for this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who should fight who? What matchups are you most excited for? If you like this video, please consider subscribing, as I've got more on the way. Take it easy.